No tax on groceries, the process trap, and the real costs. What Canadians see is Parliament debating food affordability. MPs argue. Clips circulate. Headlines say, House debates grocery prices. What Canadians don't see is what actually happens. Part 1. The process trap. What actually happened is this. This was an opposition motion, not government action. Debate was allowed. No law was changed. No tax was removed. The vote was deferred. And the day ended with nothing fixed. This isn't accidental. It's procedural design. Votes are deferred for a reason: to run out the clock on opposition days, to cool public anger, to avoid same-day accountability, and to manage optics and messaging overnight. That's why Canadians get talk now and delay later. Hansard gives you the talking. Journals give you the receipt. Delay. Part 2. Why they call it imaginary. The government doesn't dispute that food prices are high. They don't dispute that food banks are overwhelmed. And they don't dispute that Canadians are struggling. What they dispute is the cause, because admitting the cause means admitting something uncomfortable. It means admitting policy choices raise costs, that those costs compound, and that consumers pay them. So instead of rebutting facts, the claim itself is delegitimized. It's called imaginary, or silly, or made up. That's not debate. That's dismissal framing, designed to shut down curiosity. Part 3. Every tax and cost they will not admit to. Carbon tax on farm and food production inputs. Canadians are told farmers get rebates, but the carbon tax applies to farm fuel, grain drying, greenhouses, fertilizer manufacturing, and food processing. Rebates do not fully cover costs, and processors and distributors don't get them at all. Those costs move forward and show up as higher food prices. Clean fuel regulations. Canadians are told this is not a tax, but it adds cents per liter to diesel and gasoline. It hits farmers, truckers, and rail, and it increases automatically over time. If fuel costs more, everything costs more. Carbon tax on fertilizer and chemicals. Canadians are told there are exemptions, but upstream manufacturing is still taxed. Imports are still taxed. Transportation is still taxed. Exemptions don't undo the price pressure. Prices stay high. Packaging and extended producer responsibility fees. Canadians are told corporations pay, but packaging materials cost more. Reporting and compliance cost more, and those per unit costs are passed directly to consumers. There is no absorbing this. Regulatory compliance and reporting costs. These are never called taxes, but they function exactly like them. Carbon reporting. Environmental compliance. ESG tracking. Audits. Consultants. Software systems. These costs crush small producers, protect large corporations, reduce competition, and raise prices permanently. Import and export compliance costs. Canadians are told this is about standards and safety, but it adds paperwork, delays, certification fees, and spoilage risk. All of it gets priced in. Municipal and utility pass-through costs. This is almost never mentioned. Cities pay higher energy and fuel costs. Commercial leases rise. Utilities rise. Store operating costs rise. Guess who pays? Consumers do. Policy-driven supply chain consolidation. Canadians are told we need more competition, but regulatory stacking kills small suppliers. Big grocery chains survive. Fewer suppliers mean higher prices. Policy creates the problem it claims to solve. The GST shell game. Canadians are told there's no GST on basic groceries, but checkout tax is not total cost. 90% of food cost is upstream. Embedded taxes are invisible, but real. The inflation stack. None of these costs act alone. They stack. Carbon pricing, fuel regulations, packaging rules, compliance costs, interest rates, labor costs. Each adds margin. Together, they create permanent price inflation. Part 4. The core lie. Simplified. There's no tax on groceries at the checkout. Just a dozen taxes before the shelf. Governments rely on technical definitions. Canadians live in reality. If prices rise because policy raises costs, that is a tax, whether it's admitted or not. This is political commentary based on publicly available parliamentary records, and Canadians deserve to understand what they're actually paying for. This is the Canadian Citizens Journal.